The conference room was loud with applause. Every executive in the building seemed to be there, clapping, smiling, nodding like they had just witnessed something incredible. Cameras flashed. Someone near the front let out a whistle. CEO Emma stood at the podium with a wide, proud smile, praising Charlotte, our senior manager, for what she called an extraordinary piece of work that had just locked in the biggest client our company had ever signed. I sat at the very back of the room, still, quiet, barely breathing, because every single slide in that presentation, every strategy, every data point, every carefully written recommendation, I had built it, alone, over 3 sleepless weeks. Charlotte hadn't written a single sentence, but there she was, walking to the front, shaking hands, accepting praise like she had earned every second of it. Then Emma turned slowly toward the audience, folded her hands, and said calmly, "Before we celebrate further, I'd like to ask just one question." The applause stopped instantly. The room went completely silent, and my heart began to pound. It had started almost a year earlier, and I remember that night clearly. I had stayed late in the office, long after everyone else left, finishing a proposal I truly believed in. The company was chasing its biggest client yet, a national retail chain that could change everything for us. I had spent weeks studying their market, identifying their weaknesses, and building a strategy I thought was genuinely strong. When I finally finished, I felt proud. I emailed the full draft to Charlotte for review before it went up the chain. I told myself she would forward it properly, maybe mention my name. The next morning, I walked in feeling hopeful. Before I could even sit down, a message hit the entire department mailing list. I opened it and read carefully. "Congratulations to Charlotte for securing our newest major client with her outstanding new strategy." I read the line again, then again. My proposal, my strategy, my sleepless nights, Charlotte's name. I sat down at my desk and stared at the screen for a long time, unable to move, unable to speak. I had no idea this was only the beginning. By lunchtime, I had made up my mind to say something. I found Charlotte near the printer, smiling at her phone. I walked over quietly, kept my voice low, and told her I had seen the email. I asked, as politely as I could, why my name wasn't mentioned anywhere. The smile on her face vanished in an instant. She turned to face me, stepped closer than felt comfortable, and dropped her voice to a whisper. "Listen carefully, Violet," she said. "If you go around telling people that story, I will make sure you never work in this industry again. Not here, not anywhere." I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. "You're talented," she continued, her tone almost friendly again, "and that talent is useful to both of us. Don't ruin a good thing." She walked away before I could respond. I stood there, alone, hands cold, chest tight, trying to understand what had just happened. I was angry, I was scared, and I was completely alone. I told myself it was a one-time mistake, that I was overreacting, that she wouldn't dare do it again. I was very wrong. After that first incident, I watched carefully, hoping it was truly a one-time thing. Maybe Charlotte had been confused. Maybe the announcement had gone in a rush. I gave her every benefit of the doubt I could find. But then it happened again. 2 weeks later, I submitted a full competitive analysis for a product launch. I had spent an entire weekend building the framework. Charlotte reviewed it on Monday, and by Wednesday, she was presenting it to leadership as her own personal research. Then it happened a third time, then a fourth. Week after week, the same cycle repeated. I would produce the work, the reports, the strategies, the client presentations, and Charlotte would carry them upstairs with her name attached. The praise for her grew louder. Executives spoke about her sharp thinking and strong instincts. The company director once said Charlotte was exactly the kind of leader this company was built on. I sat in the back of that meeting too. My name never came up, not in a single conversation or email or hallway discussion. I existed only to fill the gap between Charlotte's ambition and the work that ambition required. There was one evening in November I still think about. The office was empty. The cleaning crew had come and gone. I sat at my desk in the half-dark, staring at another congratulatory email sent to the entire department. Charlotte's name in bold, her achievement praised in 3 full paragraphs. That achievement was a client retention strategy I had written over 2 weeks. I had even stayed in on a Saturday to finish it properly. My hands were trembling, not from cold, but from something that had been building inside me for months, a pressure with no real release. I wasn't just frustrated, I was the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix because it lives in your chest, not your body. I thought about emailing HR. I thought about speaking to someone above Charlotte, but every time my mind went there, I heard her voice again. I will make sure you never work in this industry again. I believed her. So I sat there in the dark, almost ready to give up completely. But then, almost by accident, something small on my screen caught my eye. Something I had never thought to look at before. I had been about to close my laptop when I noticed something in the old email thread. Charlotte had forwarded my original proposal to the executive team, but had forgotten to delete the header showing who the document belonged to. That small oversight made me think. I opened the company's internal document system and went into my account. There it was, a complete archive of everything I had ever submitted, every draft, every earlier version, every edit, and exactly when it was made. The system had been quietly recording timestamps and authorship information the entire time. My name was attached to every original file. Violet, right there, buried in the system's records. I sat back and let that sink in. Charlotte had been presenting polished versions of my work to leadership, but the original drafts, the ones showing where the ideas came from, were all saved under my account. She had never considered that the system recorded it all. I didn't tell anyone that night, but for the first time in months, I felt something shift inside me. The fear was still there, but underneath it, something else had quietly woken up. Something that felt like hope. His name was Paul, and he sat 3 desks away from me. We had worked side by side for nearly 2 years, sharing a printer and occasionally a lunch break, but we had never spoken deeply beyond deadlines and team updates. So I was surprised when he appeared at my desk one quiet Thursday afternoon and asked, carefully, if he could speak with me privately. We walked to the small kitchen at the end of the hall. He poured himself a coffee, didn't drink it, and then looked at me directly. "I know what's happening to you," he said. I said nothing. "I was in the conference room 2 months ago when Charlotte was preparing for the executive meeting," he continued. "She was rehearsing your presentation out loud, practicing how to answer questions about a strategy she clearly didn't write." My throat tightened. "I didn't know what to do at the time," Paul admitted, "but I've been watching, and I'm not the only one who noticed. 3 other people in this department see exactly what's going on." He wasn't making promises, he was simply telling me the truth, quietly, the way people do when something finally matters enough to say. I didn't ask Paul to do anything. I was still too afraid, convinced that one wrong move would end my career exactly the way Charlotte had threatened. But I learned something important that week. Other people's silence doesn't always mean other people are blind. Over the following 2 weeks, quiet conversations were happening across the department without my knowledge. People who had noticed the pattern were speaking to one another, not gossiping, but genuinely troubled. A few of them had worked at the company long enough to remember when credit had meant something real. Their concerns moved sideways at first, between coworkers, in careful conversations, in brief messages. But slowly, the way serious things tend to move, the information began traveling upward. Someone mentioned it to a team lead. The team lead passed it to a department head. The department head heard the same concern from 2 completely different people. And then it reached Emma, the CEO of the entire company. I knew none of this was happening. I sat at my desk every day, doing my work, sending it to Charlotte, telling myself someday things would change. They were about to change in a significant way. Emma had been CEO for 6 years. She had built a reputation for being thoughtful, not impulsive, not dramatic, but precise. People who worked closely with her said she never reacted to information until she had verified it herself. She didn't trust gossip, but she never ignored patterns either. So when the concern about Charlotte finally reached Emma, Emma did not call anyone into her office. She did not send a company-wide message. She did not pull Charlotte aside in the hallway. She walked down to the IT department one morning before most people arrived and made a quiet, specific request. She asked them to pull the internal project records connected to every major presentation Charlotte had delivered over the past 11 months. Emma stayed late that evening going through them carefully. She studied creation dates and editing histories. She looked at which account had first generated each document and which had simply accessed it afterward. She was methodical, unhurried, patient. But in the middle of reviewing the 5th project file, Emma paused. She leaned closer to her screen. She read the same line twice, then quietly set down her pen and kept reading. Every file told the same story. Across 11 months and 9 major projects, the original document in each case had been created by the same person. The timestamps were clear, the editing trail was detailed, the authorship record was impossible to misread. The name attached to every first draft was mine, Violet. Emma read through each project carefully. She wasn't just confirming the pattern, she was reading the actual content, the strategies, the client analyses, the market frameworks. As she read, she began to understand that whoever had written these documents wasn't simply a competent worker. This person was genuinely exceptional. What struck Emma almost as much as the quality of the work was something else, the complete absence of any attempt to claim it. Violet had never forwarded drafts to leadership, had never added her name, had never sent a quiet message saying this was mine. She had simply done the work and trusted the process. Emma closed the final folder and sat back. She thought for a long moment. Then she opened her calendar and checked the date of the company's upcoming major presentation, arranged to celebrate Charlotte's newest achievement. It was 4 days away. The morning of the presentation arrived cold and gray outside, but inside the building, everything was polished and warm. The main conference room had extra chairs, a projector screen lowered at the front, and catering set along the sidewall. People were dressed slightly better than usual. There was a particular energy in the hallways, the kind that comes before something official. Charlotte arrived early, wearing a sharp blazer and her most confident expression. I watched her greet executives near the entrance, laughing easily, completely at ease. She had prepared for this moment. She had rehearsed it. I had not been specifically told to attend, but my name appeared on the general team invite, so I came quietly and took a seat in the back row. The presentation began smoothly. Charlotte moved through the slides without hesitation. The strategy was introduced, explained, praised. Client numbers were displayed. The room responded as she expected. Nods, murmurs of approval, one executive writing notes in the margin of his copy. I recognized every single slide. I had written every word on every one of them. I even recognized a small formatting decision on page 7 I almost changed but kept. The applause started before Charlotte even finished her final sentence. People were genuinely impressed. Someone near the front called out a compliment. An executive shook Charlotte's hand before she had even stepped back from the podium. Then, Emma stood up. The room quieted quickly, not because Emma demanded it, but because she carried a particular stillness that made people pay attention without being asked. She smiled warmly at Charlotte and said the strategy was impressive, that the company was proud of the results. Then she paused. "Charlotte," Emma said, her voice calm and unhurried, "this model is genuinely strong. Could you walk us through how you developed the original framework? I'd love to understand your thinking from the very beginning." The question sounded polite, like natural curiosity from a CEO proud of her team. But Charlotte hesitated. For barely 2 seconds, something flickered across her face, a small, almost invisible uncertainty, gone before most people in the room even caught it. She began to speak, slowly, choosing her words with sudden and unusual care. Emma listened patiently, nodding. Then she reached for a folder resting on the table beside her and opened it without any urgency at all. Emma removed the documents from the folder one by one and laid them flat on the conference table so that everyone seated nearby could see them clearly. Project logs, system timestamps, account authorship records, draft version histories. She didn't explain them dramatically, she simply placed them there and let people look. Our internal system records document creation at the account level automatically. These are the original files connected to the strategy we've just been presented with today. The room leaned in. People craned their necks. A few executives picked up individual pages and began to read. The original document had been created 11 months ago. At 11:43 at night, the account that generated it belonged to Violet. The same was true for the second version, and the third. Every foundational draft, every original framework, all created under the same account at late hours over many months. Charlotte stood at the front, completely still. The confidence she had carried in crumbled quietly, the way things do when truth arrives without warning and leaves no space for argument. Nobody raised their voice. Nobody needed to. The documents were speaking clearly enough. Emma did not embarrass Charlotte. She did not go through every stolen project one by one in front of the full room. She did not ask Charlotte to publicly explain herself or respond to what the documents showed. She simply said, in the same steady tone she had used the entire morning, that leadership in this company was built on integrity, that results mattered, but so did the honest foundation beneath them, that the company was committed to making sure credit landed where it truly belonged. Then she announced, without drama or delay, that the department structure would be reviewed immediately and that Charlotte's role as senior manager was being stepped down effective that day. Charlotte nodded once. She picked up her folder, straightened her blazer, and walked out of the conference room. No argument, no outburst, just the quiet, heavy exit of someone found out with nothing left to say. The room held its silence after the door closed. People looked at the table, at their hands, at the documents still spread across it. Nobody quite knew what expression to wear. Then Emma turned, looked toward the back of the room, and said my name. I had not expected her to look at me. When Emma said my name and asked me to come forward, I wasn't sure my legs would carry me, but they did. I walked to the front slowly, and Emma faced me with an expression that was neither pity nor grand celebration. It was respect. Clean, simple, and direct. She told the room what the records showed, that the strategies behind the company's most successful projects had been created by me, quietly, without a single public claim of credit. That work had earned recognition long overdue. She offered me a promotion on the spot, a leadership role overseeing strategic development for the company's top accounts, with my own team and a direct line to the executive level. The room applauded, genuinely this time. I didn't cry. I didn't say much. I stood there and let the moment be real, because I had spent so long in the shadow of my own ideas that standing in the light felt almost foreign. Before stepping back, Emma looked at the room and said quietly, "Talent builds success, but honesty sustains it." What are your thoughts? Drop your comments, like, and subscribe to this channel.